Alright, what's up YouTube? It's Tonight Saint here back with another video. This is chapter 8, the 8th law, how to disarm and triumph over others with conquering acts. Let me hop straight into it. I'm gonna waste no time. The miracles of the conquering acts. Pantomime, thought projection, patinomy, I don't know how to pronounce that. The beguiling statements are essential for mental domination, but they need the support of conquering acts. The conquering acts give it the final touch. Jack or Jane might overlook many drawbacks of yours, but not your omission to do the conquering acts. These sweep everybody off their feet. It is obvious how tremendous they must be for mental domination. The conquering acts are easy to learn. Even people with below average intelligence can study them, apply them with the low trouble, and gain phenomenally from them. From them, women with ordinary minds, looks, have won choice husbands. Men of inferior birth have become associates of presidents, kings, and queens. No other law makes you more welcome anywhere. With the swindlers have perpetrated stupendous frauds. And men have been elevated into positions of affluence over men and far more ability. How the conquering acts affects others. The conquering acts disarm the other person, lower his defenses, and throw him into a rapport with you. If he is your superior, he favors you thereafter because he can't help himself. If he has to reprimand you, the word choke in his throat. With the conquering acts, you appear as if you harbor no evil in you. The alone usually stifles a resistance against you. The conquering acts may be called the great disarmer, the great neutralizer of hostile feelings against you. The 10 secrets of conquering acts. Secret 1, the non-analytical look. When you're about to be introduced to anyone, show no shyness nor willingness. Show respect and admiration for the person instead by envisioning him nobly and respectfully. Overlook everything attracting about him. Completely ignore Bob's lesser height, irregular features, unsymmetrical figure, non-glamorous clothes, poor speech, unattractive mannerisms, strange accent, uneven teeth, poor dental work, missing limb, prominent mole, ugly scar, in fact, anything and everything about him which does not add to his appearance. Stay neutral and reestablish instant rapport with them. Should he believe that you are not aware of his imperfections, he might conclude that you are not observant, but he will relax with you. You need that for mental domination. Nobody enjoys the psychoanalytical look when it is directed at him. It is an antisocial look and arouses resentment. It may be pardonable in a doctor because he has to diagnose, but in everyday life, people prefer to hide their deficiencies. Stare only at Bob's eyes to suggest to him that he has captured your full attention. That banishes the rest of him now from view and stop you from studying him. The pleasing expression. Always give the impression that you are trying to please others. Withdraw brusquely from no one's company unless he is a social pest. Drawing the other person off his shell. Act expressing your pleasure in meeting Bob. Flatter him with a beguiling statement. Don't usurp the conversation after that, unless he is tongue-tied or the silent type, and induce him to do most of the talking. Entice him to do most of the talking, particularly about himself, and give him your undivided attention. You can't do this for long because it grows boring, but do it long enough to establish a psychic union or complete rapport between him and you. Retain your dignity. Be dignified. Don't be physically familiar with the person in public. Don't lay hands on the people. In fact, except when greeting someone. Engage in no horseplay, scuffling, or other juvenile behavior. Secret 3, subtle probing. As stated in the previous law, don't embarrass the other person with intimate questions. Praise something about him and let him or her elaborate on it if he is so inclined. And admit that he or she acquired them from rowing in college. At once exhibit interest in his education. Ask him what college he attended. You will soon discover what he studied. From that, you can guess his occupation, even his probable income. Do not borrow if you can help it. Use what you have. Borrows other people's property only when you are in desperate situations. Only after the owner begs you to. Borrowing personal property from others frequently severs the relationship. Generous Bob might lend it again later on to a non-returning borrower. Herb, and forget that he did, but later you ask to return it. He won't believe you when you insist that you did not return it to him sometimes before. Even if you return the borrowed property at once, don't borrow it if you can help it, unless your stubborn refusal will hurt Bob's feelings. Never borrow another person's comb, clothes, toothbrush, handkerchief. You can tell this is an old ass book. Pass for a generous person always. Neither by an act nor word given the indication of selfishness or miserliness. Do nothing that marks you off as a character along those lines. You don't have to throw your money away, but you don't have to be conspicuously tight-fisted. How to take a graceful departure from people. Don't abruptly march off from people you're conversing with. Say to Bob first, will you excuse me? I'm late already. Please have meet you, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. If another group has already gathered around him and has eclipsed you, withdraw inconspicuously. Don't be slow about introducing people to each other. Swiftly introduce people to each other. Don't let Bob and Helen face each other in embarrassment, wondering if you are ashamed of them. When you make the introduction, also drop a praise remark to each other, or reveal to them something that they have in common, so they can become acquainted quickly and readily. Don't be afraid that in the future they might prefer each other's company to yours. Should they find each other interesting, this will be grateful for you to be bringing them together. With the overwhelming gaze and being a good listener, you will be left alone anywhere for long. You will never be left anywhere alone for long. Retain your equanimity. Never give vent to rage or anger in social company. Slight or humiliate no one, even if he is unpleasant. Don't be a good social sadist. Don't wound people's feelings. Don't hit back by embarrassing others for slights, either actual or imagined, which you suffered at their hand. Revenge sneaking, besides, changes your general aspect to the unfriendly. Secret 6. Show a democratic attitude towards others. At work especially, look down upon no one in an insubordinate position, even if he belongs to another department. Someday he might be able to do you a legitimate favor and save you much red tape. An antisocial attitude brings, besides, get talked about. And once you are known for bad manners, people expect the worst of you and act aloof towards you. Your best guide, subconscious vision. Subconscious vision is your best guide for the conquering acts. Ask yourself before you do or say anything important to someone, how would you feel if he did that to me? If you would be pleased by it, go ahead and do it. Then chances are strong that he will feel about it exactly as you would. If you would be insulted, then don't do it to him. Not only would you stir his blood, but also the host and other guests, if it happens to be a social gathering, will be deeply embarrassed. In the next law, you will be taught something called subconscious vision. Practice it well. Apply it first in situations in which you have time to think beforehand. Afterwards, apply it to more unexpected situations. Once you apply it habitually all day long, you increase your mental domination wherever you go. Secret 7, engage in no bragging. Don't brag about your income as if your co-workers were paupers. If you are a woman, don't brag about your beauty. If others don't notice how pretty you are, forget it. There are others who will. Secret 8, be or pretend to be a good listener. Don't adopt a know-it-all attitude. Appear always to be ready. Don't pass for a simple-minded idiot who believes in anything he is told. But don't act stubborn, nor as if it's impossible to influence others. People want you to listen to what they have to say. Don't turn your head when person presents his side or the question. Even if he is misinformed, don't insult him by being rude. If he is long-winded, interrupt him with something like he likes to hear about himself and then abruptly change the subject. That's crazy. He's really teaching you how to box with people, like verbally. If that is not easy to do at the time, turn pleasantly to Oscar and ask him for his opinion. To Oscar and ask him for his opinion of the matter. Never start a quarrel with the person who is monopolizing the conversation. How to be a good listener. Don't interrupt people when they talk without a good reason for doing so. Even then, apologize first. Group conversation is different because it bursts forth without implied rules of order. But in business, the social life, beware of interrupting the other person's continually. Interruptions prevent him from revealing his soul to you. If he is sensitive, it will confuse him and anger him. Develop into a good listener and lend a handsome placidity to your face by keeping it relaxed and attentive. These books really make you think, and it really builds your awareness to how your body language is. I'm really gonna read all these books. It's gonna be crazy. The perils of being too good of a listener. Like all excellent traits, being too good of a listener can prove it to be a calamity and leave you plagued with incessant talkers. I'll be saying that. I be around people, like even like I be at work and people just keep going on and on, cause I'm not a talker. I talk when I need to, but it's like some people they'll just keep talking and keep talking your ear off. And it's like you don't want to be rude, but like you really got to get the fuck on. You really got to leave, and like they just talking, you giving you a whole life story, and it's like I don't be trying to be rude, but I mean, you got to find a way to sidestep it. But like all excellent traits, being too good of a listener can prove to be a calamity and leave you plagued with the incessant talkers. You can end up listening to everybody, but nobody will listen to you. That's another thing I mean too. Too many chatterboxes can spoil your evening. Chatterboxes don't hear a word you say, but talk right on even when you talk. They cling towards your arm when you try to flee. That's crazy. And continue jabbering. When you try to get a word in edgewise, they are so used to monopolizing the conversation that they snap at you for interrupting them. You get nowhere with them because they don't give you a chance to influence them. They can converse with you for years and still hardly know your name. They don't see you as a living person, but as a big ear. So be a good listener, but don't overdo it. Secret 9. Retain a seemingly impartial attitude in every discussion. Don't turn with your tongue in cheek to someone beside you and mutter sarcastically about the person who is monopolizing the conversation. It puts your listener in an embarrassing position. You compel him to take sides, and that is not socially even. Even if he secretly agrees with you, refrain from all personal discussion. Mention nothing to your companion about his own private life, his character, his ability to reason. Confine yourself to the subject of being discussed and raise no controversial issue that could lead to a heated argument. Arguments incite people and curtail your power to influence them. Don't be too eager to clarify someone else's discussion. Don't elbow yourself into the midst of a conversation circle. Beg permission instead to be allowed into the center. And be sure that you are welcome and have nothing interesting to say. Most social targets are not seeking truth. Too many crave to show off their knowledge and argumentative ability. So even if you show off you possess knowledge which could help resolve the dispute, do not force a way into a circle to reveal it. That's interesting. Because I mean, that's the type of people, they really be irritating. Like you realize that some people perceive or they think they got this type of knowledge about what's really going on. It was just people think they can solve everybody's problems. Or let's take one thing like you learn about dealing with women is that like a lot of women don't want their problems solved. A lot of them just want an event. And some people, I know, used to have the attitude like I'm trying to fix their problem or give them a solution. It's like they don't want a solution. They just want a reason to talk. They want a reason to express themselves, and they just do it. And you gotta realize that that's legit how people are. So you gotta let them do their thing. So I think that's really what it's speaking to. Not seeking truth. Too many crave their own knowledge. You will only spoil the occasion for someone by contributing to his defeat. Do not shorten the enjoyable debate for those participating in it. Wait until yourself are engaged in a similar discussion, or until someone engaged is one request such knowledge from you. You are not trying to prove your logic to people, but win them to you. And then the last secret is reply to people with words, not with gestures. No mannerism antagonize people more, nor labels with you. I don't know how to say it, super salacious attitude sooner than to reply with their statements with nods and head shakes. They wonder if you view them as animals or slaves. No slave would answer his master with nods or shakes of the head, but many a master might reply to his slave like that. So do not insult others by replying to them with gestures instead of words unless they're insufferable. and you wish to drive them away from you. Replying words, even if yeses and nos, or you will lose your mental domination over them. That's kind of crazy, because that's one thing I even noticed is like, when I don't be paying attention to people talking, I be nodding my head a lot. That's kind of crazy. Or like when I really don't want to like be talking to somebody and they like give me an uncomfortable situation, you start to repeat the same words. You be like, right, you be like, right, yeah, yeah. And you used to be nodding your head, just slowly like retracting and trying to like move away from it. So that's interesting I even said that. Don't try to be another Voltaire. Laugh sarcastically at nothing. Don't hold back your laughter when laughter is expected, but don't laugh self-consciously as if you consider it a hearty laugh unrefined. Laugh naturally and spontaneously if you can't do it easily. Practice it on your own, in your own room, alone. Oh, it's not the last secret. Don't try to be a laughing hyena. Don't don't laugh at every insequential remark, especially to satisfy a dull, tiresome wit. But do not incense them either by staring at them seriously. Wait, it says censoriously? I never heard that word. I want to search that shit up. Pretend that you have to leave or say that you are sorry you miss his important words. This book really teaching you how to be a polite person through mental domination. That's funny. All right, don't push your way and take over the stage. Don't swagger up the person you are conversing with. A booming voice takes over the stage. To those with sensitivity and refinement, such behavior is enraging. That's the end of the chapter, but the next chapter is how to analyze and control others' action with subconscious vision. And they already talked about subconscious vision, like basically envisioning something in your head happening before it happens. And like I guess, like I said, I don't know, but it would, I guess, cause for that probability to happen. But like I said, who knows? But the chapter looks interesting. When the next time I do the chapter, how many pages is this? This is fucking 10 pages. Okay. Well, y'all stay tuned for the next video. Chapter 9. Well, Law 9, I believe. So yeah, thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a good day. Thank you.